Zubimendi to Arsenal new transfer twist. Obviously, it is on, and we are here to discuss about it hugely in here. And we are talking about Man City again and Atletico Madrid trying to take Digne to their side. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. So, as it stands, the side of Arsenal is really having some big smile again onto a man known as Zubimendi Martin. You know, recently there are reports that came in through that Real Madrid had obviously gone ahead to show interest in the player, and Arsenal fans were totally frustrated. In the due course of really getting frustrated, they found themselves in a position of really getting to where they wanted to be. And Fabrizio Romano has finally gone ahead to obviously provide a very huge update about this. And this is what he has gone ahead to say. Arsenal will pay slightly more than 60 million euros release clause as part of the pact with Real Sociedad for Martin Zubimendi's deal. The fee will be a bit higher, but allowing payment in installments as clubs share excellent relationship. Here we go, confirmed. That's what we've gone ahead to get him through from the side of Arsenal in there. From the side in there. Now, we now know the reason as to why this deal was delaying. It's that Arsenal don't want to trigger the release clause, because if you trigger the release clause, you're supposed to pay this amount of money at once. That means if you are really running out of the contract to pay this at once, you have to do the following. One, you have to pay in installments, and if you have to pay in installments, you have to pay a little bit much more than what you were supposed to be paying in there. So, as it stands, Zubimendi to Arsenal, right? Zubimendi to Arsenal is obviously twisting again. But the twist is positive, not triggering the release clause. Arsenal really going to pay that in installments. You saw it happen to the deal of a player known as Matheus Cunha to Manchester United. Release clause was 62.5 million pounds, and United wanted to really agree on a 5 installment payment plan. Wolverhampton Wanderers said no, we can only go in for a 3 installment payment plan, meaning that every year United will have to pay 30.5 million pounds for that player. And for Arsenal, we don't know what the plan is going to be, because by extending that, for Matheus Cunha, that means you have to pay like 25 million pounds per year. And for Arsenal, for 60 million euros, that means an extra 3 or 5 million euros will obviously have to be included. You remember, even when they are bringing in Ricardo Carafiori, why that deal really delayed? It was because there was a release clause to trigger, but there was a percentage that Basel had to get, because they had agreed onto a release clause. And when Arsenal were not willing to pay the release clause, you know what happened? Arsenal came up with a plan, and that's why that deal delayed to happen. Though I think towards the end of June, personal terms are going to have to be agreed, and even the team where Carafiori was playing in Italy had obviously gone ahead to agree. Was it Bologna, if at all I'm not mistaken? So for Zubimendi, it's all done, and the player is obviously going to be playing for the club of Arsenal. No doubt about that. It's done and dusted, I must tell you, in there. So that is it coming through from man as Fabrizio Romano on Martin Zubimendi. He says, here we go, confirmed. That is it. And there is another narrative that has been spread about this deal of Martin Zubimendi, that this side of the side of Real Sociedad want this deal done in July, because the financial year ends on 30th June and they want it done in the new financial year. There is that narrative that is being really put out there. So that's it all about Zubimendi to Arsenal, and hope you guys are really going to be enjoying it, and I just can't wait to see what your thoughts are about it. Now, from Marca, obviously, this is the home of all tier 1 sources of Madrid, and Atletico Madrid is also in Madrid. That is the city of Spain. They've told us that Atletico Madrid believe the idea of Champions League football may help convince Lucas Digne to join from Aston Villa, as well as the competition for his spot with Ian Masten ahead of the World Cup. Yeah, now, Digne plays for the French national team. You all know that, not so? He plays for the French national team. And with Masten, whom they signed from Chelsea, who really had a very beautiful season of 2023-2024 in Borussia Dortmund, being considered to be the number 1 left back for the side of Aston Villa, Digne looks like doesn't have enough playing time. I tell you, he doesn't have enough playing time. I tell you. And guess what is happening? Atletico Madrid is interested in signing Lucas Digne, but in the due course of really having interest in signing Lucas Digne, Digne is finding an opportunity into what Diego Simeone is telling him, that you're obviously going to be a starter. The World Cup is on next year. And for you to make it to the US, Mexico, and Canada, you have to be one of the starters, because the left back position for the French national team doesn't have what we call a player that is really prominent in it, You can talk about Benjamin Mendy. Is it Theo Hernandez? That Hernandez guy. And that means if this guy obviously goes ahead to try out something by being consistent into that, he'll obviously do the needful. And I'm talking about Martin Zubimendi. So for Zubimendi, sorry, it's not Zubimendi. It's all about a player called Lucas Digne. So Lucas Digne is really doing the needful, and I tell you what, he is obviously trying to do the needful to obviously move from Aston Villa, because there is no more time for him to play, and it looks like he's really doing a lot to see to it that he really moves from Aston Villa. And I tell you what, with them not having Champions League football to Aston Villa, they're going to be playing the UEFA Europa League, the duels, and the answer is simple. He's obviously going to be living in there. So, the other guy is Reijnders. Pep Guardiola has come up and had something to say about Reijnders. Said Reijnders is really a good player, really good. You feel it, you smell it. When he gets the rhythm, he will be top. We also have Nico Gonzalez. Mateo Kovacic can come back. I see him more in higher positions. So, the manager has told us that he sees this player so much into higher positions. That's what the manager has gone ahead to say about a player known as Reijnders, because he can play literally in every position in the midfield. But he says he already has players that can do that role, especially into that area of competition, we must say. So, as it stands, it looks like Nico Gonzalez and Rodri are gonna be the double pivot of Man City. Reijnders will obviously play as a number 10 into that system. But the beauty is that all those can alternate. And when Rodri says, let me go, Reijnders will stay. When Nico Gonzalez says, let me go, Rodri stays. Obviously, that will happen. And that's why the manager is hinting on, if at all he picks up the rhythm. Picking up the rhythm is brought up by him getting into the chemistry of that midfield of Man City, because Man City is obviously going to be having a midfield of 2 new players. Nico Gonzalez has not played 5 games with Rodri. That is it. They've not played like 2 or 5 games together with Reijnders, meaning that they have to use this FIFA Club World Cup to see to it that chemistry really comes together. So your thoughts on to Zubimendi to Arsenal transfer twist are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Reijnders? Reijnders and Pep Guardiola's submissions about him. And lastly, Lucas Digne. Would you obviously advise him to go to Atletico Madrid and quit Aston Villa? First video of the day, more is yet to come.